Like geddytrey on stuff, whooshy gives a proper reaction.
And now for something completely different.
Welcome back. Today we have another edition from RAMMSTEIN. The first one that we checked out was Du Hast. I very much enjoyed that, though we didn't get the lyrics. I know a lot of you translated a lot of the lyrics for me in the comments down below. I won't need you to do that this time, don't worry. I do also have the lyrics up on a separate screen, so let's watch the official music video. If the subtitles don't work, don't worry, I do have them. Without further ado, 9 minutes. Strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Germania. That's old Germany, right? That's what it used to be called. It's like a whole movie. Ugh! What an intro!
Hast viel geweint, im Geist getrennt, im Herz vereint. Wir sind schon sehr lang zusammen, dein Atem kalt, das Herz in Flammen.
What? They're eating her!
Und doch so alt.
Deutschland! No?
Ich will dich nie verlassen. Man kann dich lieben und will dich hassen. Überheblich, überlegen, übernehmen, übergeben, überraschen, überfallen. Deutschland, Deutschland, über allen. Mein Herz in Flammen, will dich lieben und verdammen. Dein Atem kalt, so jung und doch so alt. Deine Liebe
So that's the future. As Germania. Okay, so this is what I was going to say. I kind of wish that hadn't come up, because I was going to say, or ask, or ponder, does she represent Germany? I'm going to go back through it, and we're going to go through it with the lyrics. But I was thinking maybe she represents Germany, because why would they use... I mean, you know, no offence at all, shouldn't take it whatsoever, but why would they use a black woman? It doesn't... To represent Germany, like, it doesn't make much sense, especially since they're going back historically. In the video, it seems. Not sure about the lyrics. Wasn't even paying attention to those. I was just... That's why I wanted to go through the video in its entirety, because 9 minutes, I was assuming it was going to be something incredible. It clearly was, but now we need to go back through for the lyrics. Because, of course, she's black, and she was wearing gold. She had, like, red lipstick on. There were, like, flecks of red, so red, gold, black. That's the flag of Germany. You know? A lot of that was incredible. As a visual, you know, that was absolutely incredible. Very, very impressed by that. Very, very impressed by that. It seems as though it's showing Germany through different periods, because it started out, and obviously they keep saying Germania. Or not keep saying, but I've read that as her name, and then, of course, we've got that there too. In the beginning, it said Germania. It's just, there's a lot of it, you know? Insane. Let me just get the lyrics up one time. You have cried a lot, separated in spirit, united in heart. We have been together for so long, your cold breath, the heart in flames. Germany, my heart in flames, want to love and damn you. Germany, your cold breath, so young and yet so cold. Want to love you and damn you. Maybe that's because they feel, or the members of this band feel, ashamed of its past. I don't know why, because that just leads into collectivization, you know? And we don't blame every German for what their grandparents may or may not have done. Do you know what I mean? That the whole sins of the father thing, that doesn't really wash with me. You're all right. You're supposed to be born free of sin. How is that the case? What are they teaching you in German schools that is making you, almost forcing you to be apologetic for things that your ancestors did? I understand that it wasn't that long ago, but you are not to blame, you know? I might be a minority in thinking that, you know? But from me, I don't blame any of you, you know? I don't blame any of you. It's not your fault, you know? They were individual people with individual choices, and they made theirs, you know, for better or for worse. And maybe that's why they were eating from Germania, because that's because whether you're in the upper echelon or lower, you're still eating from Germany. Do you know what I mean? For better or worse, for good or bad, whatever they've done, you're still within this country, so you're still eating from its roots, you know, however evil you might think that those roots are, or the seeds that planted them, you know. But Germany has such a beautiful, rich history, such a beautiful culture. To see it to see it constantly overshadowed by, you know, to see it constantly overshadowed by that is a shame, you know, because that's one blip, one tiny moment in your country's history. Germania was a vast, beautiful place. You know, it's been written about from people from my country wrote about it when they visited Germania, when it was the Germanic lands, when it was the, oh God, the Tartarians. You have a long, if you're watching this and you're from Germany, I don't know, let me know how you feel. Like, how does it affect you? You know, how do you feel about the war? How do you think the rest of the world perceives you? Do you even care? You know, this song certainly seems to care because it's I want to love you and damn you. There's obviously a generational guilt there. I don't know if that's taught within your schools. I don't know if that's taught within your media, you know, to never forget and to always blame yourself and hate your ancestors for what they did and shame them. And I don't know, man. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, though. But this is more verse 2.
Ich will dich nie verlassen. Man kann dich lieben und will dich hassen.
Because Germania, as she is presented, is still within regal clothing, even though they're going through a period where they're being hated. Do you know what I mean? The people of Germany. Maybe they represent the people of Germany, and the black woman represents Germany as a whole. You know, as a feeling, because she's constantly in that sort of garb. You know, like a very royal, a very regal garb. So maybe that's to symbolize, you know, it doesn't matter what period we're in, we're still going to hold our heads high as Germans, you know. We're still going to hold our heads high because we have a different kind of blood running through our veins, Germanic blood. It's very different, you know. Different feeling. It's a different culture, different history. It's very different. It's something that you should be proud of. Do you know what I mean? Some of the greatest achievements and inventions have come out of Germany, you know. Some of the greatest thinkers. Amongst all of that greatness, you are going to have a few bad eggs. Do you know what I mean? It's nothing to be ashamed of. I don't know. I just don't like the angle that it's coming from. Do you know what I mean? Like, I imagine as a Germanic person, as a person from Germany, whether you are German or you just live there, this must fill you with a little bit of pride, you know. But also on the flip side of that, there's a lot of guilt. And although I believe they're trying to do the right thing by expressing that guilt, I feel like it's misplaced. You know? Like, at this point, who's hating on Germany? Just the one place, I would imagine. Smack bang in the Middle East. Just that one place, I would imagine, is hating on Germany. And it's very unfortunate that they control a large swathe of the media, because if not, the entire globe would be hearing about Germanic history. Stories like, even like Vikings, the stories of the Romans. There's so many that sort of intertwine with Germany, and I was never taught that stuff in school. The only thing that we were taught about Germany is the obvious, is the awful. That's the only thing that we heard. Growing up in England, the only reference to a German voice that we hear is always Hitler's. You know, whether it's a joke or, you know, something. Da, 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 da. That's all you ever hear. So talking to a German, you just expect them to talk like that. And then when they don't, you're kind of like, oh, you've just got like a really nice soft voice. What was that? You don't realise how beautiful the language is until you take Adolf out of the equation. You'd also have to take like crystal meth out of the equation, because I'm sure they all sound like that when they're on crystal meth. You know? Be like trying to understand a Scotsman. Another country, the media just for some reason bury the history of. Ireland, Scotland, Germany, Russia. Just completely bury the history of it in most of the Western world, you know. I'm sure there's many Germans who have learnt more about the history of Germany since leaving school than they did when they were there. I can't even go through the rest of this song now. Can't even do it. I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed for German people. We're currently having a culture crisis in my country, in England. Can't even put an English flag up because it's linked to jingoism. And immigrants might get scared. Brev, I'm English. I would like to celebrate that. Why can I not? Man, I do anyway. What are they going to do? Lock me up? Turn me into a fucking Charles Bronson. Germany, your heart in flames. Want to love and damn you. Germany, your love is a curse and a blessing. Germany, my love I can't give you. That's the last line. And if I remember correctly, he looked like he was crying when he said it. Or he looked very emotional when he said it. Germany, my love I can't give you. That's that generational guilt. I don't know if it's a thing where just this generation felt it, and then the generations that preceded it, not preceded it, sorry, the generations that came after RAMMSTEIN, whether or not they actually care, do you know what I mean? Or whether or not they're sort of turning the other way and thinking, why as a German am I being blamed for something that happened over half a century ago? Why am I being blamed for that? It's the same way that a lot of white people are looking in the Western world, especially. Thinking, why are we having to socially atone for you potentially having slaves as ancestors, or ancestors that were slaves? Why would we have to atone for that hundreds of years on? Makes absolutely no sense. But yeah, the guilt thing, man, I can't. I don't know. Germany, my love, I can't give you. Then don't live there. Don't live there. Don't talk about it. Just leave. Leave and go and find a country that you would be happy in as a German. Am I going mental or something? Same thing in this country. If you don't like this country, leave. Don't stay here and complain about it. What are you supposed to do about history? What are you saying? You can't change it. I'm sure if most Germans wanted to go back and change it, they would, you know? That old thing, what would you do to Adolf if you could go back? I'm sure a lot of people would have a lot of answers for that. I feel bad for the people of Germany, and I have done for a long time. I've just never really had an outlet to say it, and I don't know any Germans, so... But just me personally, I've always hoped that whole guilt thing is not the case. And it seems like it is the case. It seems like... Because it can't just be them. They've made a whole song about it, and it's a popular song. So I'm sure it's not just them that share that sentiment. And like I say, those that do share that sentiment, I am confident that they are doing that in the most positive... in the most positive way to say sorry, you know? Genuine atonement. But it is not your place to do that. You didn't do anything wrong. I don't know, man. You shouldn't be punished for the sins of your fathers. Nobody should. I don't know. It's just weird how punishment has to be generational, and yet the whole like learning from our mistakes and forgive and forget isn't generational. Even though we're apparently getting better societally, as a species, we're getting better, more tolerant. Rare, tear. But with stuff like this, it doesn't seem like we're becoming more tolerant. In the sentiment, you know, because the video, there's a black woman in it, so it seems really tolerant. But I do think that they used a black woman because of the black, red and gold. I don't know, though. I honestly don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and if you are from Germany, let me know how you feel. Let me know if I'm an arsehole for having an opinion, and let me know what yours is in the comment section down below. It's been your boy, Teddy Ground Stuff. Deuces.